Alycats and you viewers. So today, because I'm a sweetheart of a person and I totally can relate to this, I'm going to recommend 10 films you should watch on Netflix instantly, like right now after this video. Because I know that some days you really want to watch something on Netflix and you go on there and you can't find anything because there's a bajillion movies and you're just like, what's good? I don't know, I don't want to waste my time. And you know what? I love you so much that I'm going to give you some of my personal favorite recommendations and you can thank me later for blowing your little cinematic movie loving mind. The first film I'm recommending is Short Term 12. Short Term 12 stars Brie Larson and Rami Malek. They are counselors working at a halfway house for teenagers with mental illnesses. And it's such a beautiful, moving film. The story centers around the kids as they try to get to grips with their illness and try to adjust back to a normal life. And it also revolves around the counselors, how they're dealing with taking care of these kids, especially Brie Larson's character. Brie is going through something in her personal life, and she's also trying to have a relationship with a fellow counselor. And this is just such a beautiful, moving film, and it portrays mental illness beautifully. It's respectful, it's heartbreaking. It's just something you need to watch. It is definitely a work of art, and it's just so beautifully written and acted and directed that you definitely owe it to yourself to watch this. Like, this is the movie I recommend the most, so definitely see it if you haven't. The next film I'm going to recommend is one of my all-time favorite films, and that is Silver Linings Playbook. Silver Linings Playbook is the story of a man named Pat Solitano, and Pat has just been released from a mental institution, basically, and he went crazy after his wife cheated on him, and now he's just trying to readjust back to a normal living situation. He's trying to win back his wife, and he's having to deal with this new woman named Tiffany, and oh my gosh, this film is amazing. I adore it. I think it's hilarious in a dark way, and I love the performances. Jennifer Lawrence was fantastic as Tiffany, and this is the role she won her Best Actress Oscar for. And Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro, Jackie Weaver, and Chris Tucker are all great in their roles as well. You owe it to yourself to watch this if you like dramatic comedy kind of films. And also, this is a fantastic film from David O. Russell, who is one of my favorite directors, so I do highly recommend this movie if you like his work. The next film I'm going to recommend is The Road Within. The Road Within is about a boy with Tourette syndrome whose father ships him off to an experimental treatment center for people with mental illness, and there he meets another boy who has severe OCD and a girl who is anorexic. And the first day that the boy with Tourette syndrome is there, the girl with anorexia steals the headmaster's car. They're planning on road tripping to California, and this chronicles how they have to deal with their illnesses while they're traveling, and how they have no help basically while they're doing this, and how they have to overcome their fears. It's just such a beautiful, moving film, and everyone was fantastic in this. Robert Sheehan, Dev Patel, Zoe Kravitz, Robert Patrick, and Keira Sedgwick were all great, and I thought this film was very well done. It's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's just perfect, and so many people bash this film, but I think it's really well done. And if you're interested in psychology, or if you just want a moving picture about having to deal with adversity and overcome obstacles in your life, definitely check out The Road Within. Now moving on to some horror films, if that's your jimmy jam. The first film I'm going to recommend is The Babadook. The Babadook is so incredible. The Babadook is a story of a woman and her young son. They're dealing with the death of her husband, and they're trying to process their grief and dealing with PTSD and depression. And one day the boy finds a book called The Babadook, and his mother reads it to him, and while she's reading it, it's a very disturbing book, and basically she unleashes this monster by reading the book, and it terrorizes them from that day on. And they're trying to deal with this monster and get rid of this monster and not allow it to overtake their lives, but it is slowly but surely taking over their lives and making them miserable. And I love that this film is actually an allegory for depression and grief, and I think it's just so well done. It is genuinely unnerving at points, and I love the aesthetic of the film. I thought S.D. Davis was fantastic. The kid was annoying. I will give the film that little itty bitty con. But overall, I thought this was an amazing feature debut film, and I think you should definitely check it out if you're into horror, because it is genuinely unsettling at points. The next movie I'm going to recommend is The Hallow. The Hallow is Corin Hardy's feature film debut as a director, and this follows the story of a young family who have just moved to a new home in Ireland, and this home is basically on the edge of a forest, and the locals are warning them that since they trespassed here, they put down roots, the Hallow would come after them, and they're thinking, oh, they're just threatening us, they don't like us, they want us to move. And stuff starts happening around the house. It's weird. There's like this black fungus growing everywhere. And soon enough, the Hallows do come, and they start terrorizing this family. And this film is so well done. It is a beautiful film. I thought the creature design was fantastic. The actors are great. And I mean, the baby was freaking gorgeous, okay? This baby is just the cutest thing ever. Just definitely, if you have a free afternoon or night or whatever, definitely check out the Hallow. It's really worth watching. It's not mind-blowingly amazing, but I think it's good for what it is, which is a feature horror film debut. The last horror film I'm going to recommend is more of a comedy than a horror film, but it's definitely worth a watch, and it's called Housebound. I have never laughed so hard at a horror movie in my life than I have with Housebound. Housebound is the story of a woman who has just been released from prison, and she's on house arrest. And she moves back to her family home. Her mother is looking after her, and weird stuff starts happening around the house. Things are moving by themselves. They hear noises, and you quickly find out what is causing this to happen. But it's just, oh my gosh, it's hilarious. The cheese grater scene is the best scene I've ever seen in a horror film that had me dying laughing. So if you want something that's going to make you laugh and maybe give you a few jump scares, definitely check out Housebound. It's worth a watch. A couple of documentaries you should watch are The Hunting Ground. The Hunting Ground covers the topic of rape on college campuses and how these institutions aren't taking it as seriously as they should. They're not reporting it to authorities, or they're basically saying the girls are lying about these guys raping them. It's a very infuriating movie because you see these girls, they're in so much pain, and they're going and they're trying to get help. They're trying to say, hey, this guy raped me, I need help, this guy needs to be expelled, put in prison, etc. And these institutions aren't taking them seriously. They're allowing these students who are accused of the crime of rape to continue going to school, and it's just so well done and so informative. It is heartbreaking, infuriating. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and you should definitely watch it. Another documentary that is the most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen is called Dear Zachary. Dear Zachary, don't watch this if you are already depressed or if you cannot handle emotional topics, because this will have you bawling like a baby. It broke me. I'm not even joking. I can't really tell you what Dear Zachary is about without spoiling the whole film, but it is brutal. It's brutal, but it's very well done, and it makes you feel so many different emotions, and it's interesting. It's just very, very sad and heartbreaking, and I can't recommend it to everyone, but if you can handle that, definitely check it out because it's just so beautiful. The last documentary I'm going to recommend is Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine. Again, this is a very, very sad documentary, so don't watch this if you're already feeling down, but this is the story of a young man who was basically beat to death for being gay. And it's the story of his life and how his death has impacted his friends and family. It's very well done, very, very sad. I was bawling. Matt Shepard just seemed like such a beautiful, beautiful person, and for someone to be taken away from this world at such a young age and who is so amazing, it's very sad, and you become infuriated at the people who took this shining light away from the world, and it's so well done and so emotional, and I do recommend it if you can handle tough topics. And the last film I'm going to recommend in this particular recommendations video is called Any Day Now, because, yeah, we need more depressing stuff in our lives. Any Day Now is the story of a gay couple who take in their neighbor's son who has Down syndrome. The neighbor is a junkie and she has gotten herself thrown in prison, and the boy has no one to take care of him, so they take him in and they fall in love with him and they want to adopt him, but the courts find out that they are gay and they don't want to let this boy live with them, and they're fighting for this boy who they consider their son. And it's such a moving film, but I do have to say, again, if you're depressed already, do not watch this film, because I did not know it was going to completely break me, and it did, and I wasn't prepared for it, and it messed me up for days afterward. I'm not even joking. I was sad for days after seeing this film, but it's so beautiful, and Alan Cumming did a fantastic job in his role. It's something you need to see. It's very eye-opening, and you learn so much about people with Down syndrome, and also how far loving someone can go, even if they're not your blood, even if you haven't known them very long, that love can conquer a lot of things, and it can overpower so many things, and it's just amazing. So those are 10 recommendations I'm giving to you to watch on Netflix right now. Let me know what you recommend to me, because I'm sure there's some amazing films I haven't seen, Also, if you like another recommendations film in the future, leave a like because that tells me you like this and you want to see more. Share me if you'd like to, and don't forget to subscribe because there's going to be a lot of videos on this channel sometime. And they're going to be awesome. I'm biased. But anyway, I would love to have you as an Alycat. We can be best friends. Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you so, so much. It's crazy. Peace and kisses.